Okay. So how much experience you are having in total?
Total of 1.6 years.
1.6 years. Okay. Okay. So we'll start with core Java.
Yeah.
Okay. So can you tell me what is string constant pool?
Okay. String constant pool area is defined in keep. Like for whenever you create an string literal, like string s equal to some like Java, um, and also string s1 equal to Java.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it will check whether that string literal is already present in string constant pool area. If that string is not present in that string constant pool area, it will create, or else it will, the second reference also will be pointing to that same object which is created in this string constant pool area. Basically this is created in order to reduce the memory.
Mm-hmm.
So by creating a new object again and again, there will be a memory issue. So in order to reduce it, string constant pool area will be created.
Okay. And what is the use of these stack memory and heap memory?
Okay. So stack memory. So whenever a program is executed, a thread will start to execute. So there will be different methods in a program in Java. So every method will be created like a stack frame. So for every thread, there will be a different stack frame, and in the so it will create different stack frames in stack. And whenever you create any object in the method or in the program, for every object, there will be some separate space will be created in the heap area.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the differences between stack and heap.
Okay. Okay. Do you know about any of the framework or it's just core Java
So
right now?
currently we are working with the Java 8 and Spring Boot.
Okay. So you must have knowledge about Java 8 as well.
Yes.
So like what are the new features you have been using right now?
Yeah, right now we are using functional interfaces, Lambda expressions, default and static methods in interfaces, stream API, method reference, optional class, date and time API.
Okay, that's great. Okay, so what is the use of optional class?
So optional class is used to check whether the data which we are getting from the DB um, or that like it is mainly used for checking whether it is null, the data which we are getting from the DB is null or not. So from like in optional class, we have three methods like is empty or is present or else, like that. So from that we will be able to check the null conditions.
Okay,
So instead of writing whether dot null not equal to null or null, instead of checking that, we can directly use optional dot is present or is empty, like that.
okay, okay, that's right. So, and what is the practical use of default method in terms of Java 8?
Default methods are mainly came into picture for solving the limitation of interfaces. So and also for adding more functionality methods in interface without breaking the implementation classes functionality.
Okay,
So suppose there is one interface. In that interface, you have implemented one method, um, and that interface is implemented by two other classes, and you have also declared one method in that interface, but there is no implementation in both the other classes which is implementing the interface. Then we will get an error, right?
yeah,
Compiled an error.
yeah, yeah.
But instead of using default method in that interface, will not be able to get. So the class which is requiring this method, like the default method, can be overridden.
Okay, and in terms of like you have already written a code and then you need to add some methods in some interfaces, there you can
Hmm.
add default methods. So
Yeah, we can add default methods.
yeah, without breaking the existing functionality. So you don't need
Yeah,
to.
without breaking the existing functionality.
Yeah, so your already written methods does not need to require override those default methods which you added recently.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So in terms of stream API, there is a method
Yeah.
called Flatmap.
Yes.
Yeah. So what do you know about that? What is the use of that?
Basically, if we are having, I'll tell in terms of example.
Yeah.
There is one student class, and inside which is a list, and inside that list we are having another list, like student is having a list, is taking some list of subjects.
Yeah.
So instead of we need only list of subjects, then we'll use Flatmap. So Flatmap is basically for flattening the purpose, flattening all the data inside the stream.
What do you mean by flattening?
It basically converts the list of list into list.
Yeah, correct. That's the thing I want to hear. Okay, so you have a scenario where you have a array, okay, and from that array or array list, okay, you have an
Okay.
array list, and from that array list you need to find
Mhm.
values which are greater than 100.
100. Okay.
So this array list contains some values,
Okay.
okay, integer values. So
Okay.
how do you do that in terms of using Java 8?
So I'll use stream API for this.
Yeah.
So that list, array list dot stream dot filter, and if we can use lambda expression. So suppose that list and some arrow mark for representing lambda. So list
Yeah.
so list is greater than 100. So greater than 100 dot. So we need to get only the list which is greater than 100. So dot collect dot collector dot to list.
Okay. There is one interface which is introduced in Java 8, which is function interface, right? So what is the difference between a normal interface and a functional interface?
Like functional interface is mainly defined for enabling functional programming in Java, and in functional interface only one abstract method will be there, and it also can have default and static methods, and also final and static variables. And if you want to enforce that the interface should have only one abstract method, then you need to use one annotation called at functional interface.
Okay. So suppose if I don't use that annotation, what will happen?
You can also declare more abstract methods inside that interface.
Okay. I will get compile time error if I don't use that. If I use multiple methods, if I add more than one abstract method, then that time I will get compile time error that you have declared this method as a functional interface and you are using more than one abstract method.
Yeah, like when you declare with at functional interface annotation, and if you are adding more abstract methods, definitely you will get compile time error.
Yeah, so suppose you have to process a lot of data using a stream. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
What are the things which are coming in your mind first? Like how do you do that? You need to take care of speed as well. Speed of the execution.
Yes. Can you repeat your question again?
Yeah, sure.
I didn't get you.
So you need to process a lot of data using the stream API.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So to take care of the speed of the execution, what are the things you need to take care? Like what you will do? Have you heard about parallel stream?
Yeah, parallel stream. So in order to execute the execute or make the process speed, we can use parallel stream, so that it uses multiple cores of your CPU, multiple cores. So, and also one more thing, whenever we are getting the output from the parallel stream, we can't expect the output,
Yeah.
but the process will be but the process will be speed than using stream concept.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So as we are using multiple cores, the data will be splitted across your multiple CPU cores.
Correct. Correct. So you can use multiple threads. Your
Multiple threads.
JVM can use multiple threads to execute that particular thing, and it will be faster than usual.
Faster than normal stream.
Yeah. If I ask you to tell me the logic, just logic, write a program, you need to find, you have a string. Okay.
Okay.
So you need to write a method in which you will give a string. The return type should be string contains digits or not. So
string containing digits or not.
Yeah.
Okay. So the return type will be the method will be like public boolean.
Yeah.
Check digits, like we are passing string str. So the logic will be like, so basically the string will be converted into character array initially, and we'll loop it, and we'll check whether every character is between 0 to 9.
Yeah.
If that character is present, then we'll check that string is only number or not. Every character should be equal to that 0 to 9.
Yeah.
Between 0 to 9.
Yeah, correct. So according to that, you will give the return type.
We'll give the return type boolean.
So, like, have you got a chance to work on threads, or do you know anything about threads?
I know the concept, but I don't have much experience. But like we are currently working on that concept in our project.
Okay. Okay. So, can you tell me what is the difference between a process and a thread?
So, like in multitasking, there are two types, like process-based multitasking and thread-based multitasking.
Yeah.
So, like when we are doing many other works similar to process, means like for example, if I'm for example in general ways, so when I'm doing some coding in my Eclipse or STS, and even I can download any other file or things like that. So my CPU can do multiple tasks.
Yeah.
So that is the one process is different from another process. So this is like multi-process like thing. So threads means like multi-threading is nothing but there is one task. One task will be divided into multiple things.
Yeah.
So every thread will execute. So it will be like
faster.
Will be in only one single program or single process divided into the multiple parts. So that will be difference. Like it will be the same process or the same code divided into multiple parts, but process will be different. One process will be different from another.
Yeah, correct. That's why we use thread. So, do you know how we can create a thread? What are the different ways to create threads?
There are two ways to create a thread, like by using thread class and using runnable interface.
Which one is better?
So the better thing is runnable interface, since like when we use runnable interface, we can also extend some other classes or some other interfaces.
Okay.
But when we use this extends thread, we can't do that. We can't implement or extend other classes.
Okay. So any other way to create a thread? You know about these two ways, but it's good to know that there are some other ways to create threads as well. So like whenever you are creating a thread pool, you are eventually creating threads. So you can tell this also by creating a thread pool. Then
thread pool.
using a callable interface, you can also like call a thread.
Yeah, we can call it thread.
Yeah, so that is the way.
Like we can use like exception handling or collections or Springboard related things.
Correct. So when you will get stack overflow error or stack overflow exception, in which scenario you will get this exception?
Stack overflow exception.
Yeah. Or is it a checked exception or unchecked exception?
I think it's unchecked exception.
Okay. And
Like it is a runtime error. Indicates that like the application which is already like it is the memory of that application is already exhausted.
Yeah.
So whenever the memory is full, the heap memory is full.
No, not the heap. Not the heap. Stack memory is full.
Okay, sorry.
Because
so whenever
the name suggests it is stack
but
overflow.
the name suggests that it is stack overflow. So we can say that whenever the stack memory is full, we'll get this exception.
So in stack memory, what are the things you will store? I mean, your JVM will store.
Basically, JVM will store the instance variables or the
instance variable. Are you sure?
I mean the local variables which we create.
Okay. Variables.
Variable, like when we assign any variable.
Variables in general.
Okay, yeah. Variables will be stored in stack.
Yeah, because in heap memory, all the objects will go.
Objects will be stored
And what do you know about Java memory management? So there is a concept called garbage collection. What do you know about that?
Like before Java, there are other languages like C or C++. Yeah. So memory management will be done by the programmer itself.
Yeah.
But in Java, it is the responsibility of the garbage collector.
Okay.
So garbage collection means like removal of objects that are not used anymore in the program. Like there are reachable objects and unreachable objects will be there whenever the program is executed. So basically the garbage collection will be done on heap memory. In heap, like heap will be divided into two main areas like young generation and old generation. And young generation is again divided into three types like hidden space, survivor S0 and survivor S1.
Okay.
So whenever a new object is created, it is created in the young generation.
Okay.
So like as I told, young generation is further divided into three parts. Initially, it will be created into hidden space. Like hidden space is like we all know that Eden is like the birthplace of the Jesus Christ, like that. So every object will be created in the hidden space.
Okay.
So all the reachable objects, which like reachable objects means which is required for the other step of the execution of the program. All the objects will be moved from hidden space to survivor space.
Yeah.
So if this object survives further more iterations, that will be moved from survivor S0 to survivor S1.
Okay.
So this marking and deleting and compacting is the process which is involved in the garbage collection. And one more thing is like there are 4 types of garbage collectors. The first one will be like serial collector, parallel collector, and concurrent collector, and G1 garbage collector. So in serial collector, that this is the basic garbage collector that uses single thread, and in concurrent collector, that performs garbage collection along with the application execution. Like as the application runs, so does not wait for the old generation to be full. So it directly executes whenever, whether it will be like whether it checks or not, whether the old generation is full or not, it will check. It won't check. And in parallel collector, it uses multiple CPUs to perform garbage collectors, and also like it does not kick until whether it does not check whether heap memory is full or not. And in garbage collector, G1 garbage collector, it is the combination of parallel and concurrent collector. So it divides the entire heap space into different spaces, and based on the different regions during the garbage collector, it dynamically selects a set of region to act as a young generation in the next garbage collection cycle. So regions which are unreachable will be collected first, and the next. So based upon the memory and different other parameters, we should select our garbage collector while we are designing our architecture.
Okay, very good. So